Welcome to the Brickworks Podcast, an extension of the studio based here in Burnham-on-sea. Our aim for this podcast is to have a completely open forum for conversation. This could be about art, life, mental health, or even how the world is burning down around us right now. Whether you're listening to this whilst on a run or relaxing at home, we hope you enjoy our mild-mannered rambles. Thank you.
I feel like we veered off from what I was actually going on about now. Now we're talking about meat and two veg. I was hot, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get hot in the summer. And
See, that's so weird because we were just saying about how cold it was, and now...
yeah, like at the moment it's ridiculously cold.
Yeah.
I'm fine if I'm inside. I'm constant. If I'm outside with weather like this, fuck me.
Yeah, I was going to say, being outside the gym right now, like doing training in this must be...
You know that emoji with, it's the blue face and the icicles down the side of the mouth?
Yeah.
That is me.
That's a visual representation of Harry.
That is me. And the icicles are not just coming out of my face.
No.
It's everywhere.
It's just literally out of all pores. Like.
Yeah. So that's me at the moment. But when it warms up a little bit, like I said earlier, give or take a few degrees, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because if I'm cold, I can put more layers on. But going to the other extreme, if I'm too hot, then that's it. Like I can only get to a certain layer, and then it's not acceptable for the public.
Yeah, meat and two veg.
Yeah, meat and two
veg.
I can't walk around with meat and two veg out.
Honestly, bro, I need to make that into like a banner or something.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's good, yeah.
But it's a good saying. What was, so when was it you were in LA? It was what?
October.
2 years ago, wasn't it?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because last year this whole pandemic thing happened, didn't it? Oh, we're still in
what's
one.
that? Yeah. What's the pandemic?
Something about
Coronavirus, wasn't it?
That's a lager, isn't it? Oh wait, yeah, COVID, yeah. I almost forgot about it.
Yeah, so easy to forget about it.
Yeah.
No, but LA, man, like it's one of those cities that I've like always wanted to visit. It just seems like such a crazy, weird, like hodgepodge of people. You know what I mean?
Do you know what? Like, I'd go back there in a heartbeat. But the only thing that's stopping me is it's so fucking hot.
Harry's body clock is like temperature wise.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I'd love to go back there. It is a completely different world over there. As soon as we got off the plane, like you get that wall of heat, and some people like that, and then some people don't. Guess which one I am. And how many of us were there? There was loads of us. There was 8 of us that went. And when we got there, we were trying to figure out what to do. There's so much to do. Like the amount of time that we were there wasn't a day when it was like we have nothing to do. It was, what are we going to do, or we are doing this.
Yeah.
Because there's such a big choice.
Of course.
But yeah, it's when you see things in the movies that's based in LA, 9 times out of 10, that's what's actually happening over there.
That's crazy.
Like with the crazy people.
Yeah.
There's crazy people everywhere.
Yeah. I've heard some mad stories about like the homeless people living under bridges.
Yeah.
It sounds absolutely mad.
Yeah, that's the case. Like you get not a taxi, an Uber to wherever you want to go, and you underneath the bridges is full of tents. And along the beach, that's something that you don't see in the magazines and all that. The whole strip of the Venice beach, the walkway, is tent after tent after tent after tent. And I was like, when we were walking down, it went down there a few times. I was looking at it thinking, fuck me, this is crazy. But they can't help it, can they? Because they've put themselves in that pit.
Yeah,
They can't
100%.
get out.
100%. Yeah, I suppose like I've always heard of stories of like the homeless in LA, and you know, as I said, I've never been to LA. I've been to New York, and New York was a weird one because you never actually really saw many sort of homeless people in New York. I think a lot of the people that are homeless in like New York City, they live underground, or they find little like areas to being, obviously I didn't explore the whole city because it's so big, so vast, but yeah, I've always heard of like stories of LA and like the tent cities, I think they're referred to, and stuff like that, and it seems really weird because, you know, LA is the land of Hollywood, it's the land of, you know,
opportunity, isn't it?
Opportunity, yeah. Really strange.
One of us, I can't remember who it was, asked why it's such a bad thing, and one of the Uber drivers turned around and said because they're up in the money all the time for the rent and things on the buildings, so people are going homeless because they can't afford anything. And I imagine it's got even worse now because of this pandemic going on. So yeah, I dread to think what it's like now. If it weren't as bad, you'd have so many more people there for a holiday. I think it'll put a lot of people off when they see it.
Yeah.
I want to go back there for the food. I love food.
Whereabouts did you stay? Did you stay in Venice Beach?
We were down the road from the Hollywood Walkway.
Oh, cool.
I can't remember the name of the road now. Something like Martel Avenue or something. But it was a walking distance to the walkway.
That's sick.
So yeah, we weren't far from anything.
No, you're right in the centre of it.
Yeah. I'd like to go back there again. The apartment was quite good, to be fair. Yeah, and the highlight of it was just living with Bish for the time.
Mate, Bish is such a character. To anyone that's watching or listening, like, I don't even know his real. Is it Ash?
Ashley Bishop.
Ashley Bishop. Yeah, I can't even remember his real name. Everybody just refers to him as Bish. Yeah. But he's such a character, bro.
He's I can't even explain it. Just the things he comes out with is not normal.
That's just a way to describe.
Yeah, he's so lovable though. It's unreal.
Yeah, he's honestly such a cool guy. Like, it's so funny.
The pictures and videos that I've got on my phone, I've had to make a separate folder, just because not all of them are very
PG.
Yeah, just because the things he gets up to, all the antics, and a lot of people that know him will be like, yeah, that's definitely him.
Bro, some of the people, man, it's so jokes. So yeah, where else have you been? Like, obviously you went to LA.
Yeah, we stayed in LA.
Okay, because you were there for a little while, weren't you? Like,
I think it was like 14 nights we were there.
Yeah.
We went over to Beverly Hills Shopping Centre, and what's her name? You know, like Worldstar and that.
Yeah.
And you get all these really weird people that are on it. And there was this girl called Welts Vicky.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen like weird videos of her. Yeah.
Like she's super duper white, but she thinks she's not.
Yeah, she thinks she's like black. Yeah.
So yeah, the way she is really like, okay, hang on, chill out a minute.
Yeah.
And I think it was Jesse or Fran's seen her in there while I weren't there. I don't know where I was. I think I was in a shop. And seen her walking through, and I thought, oh, what? How did I miss that?
Yeah.
And then we've seen Seth Rogen getting out of his Range Rover when we were getting Uber back to the apartment one day. We've seen Hopsin. Oh no, we didn't see Hopsin. We missed Hopsin at the skate park. We were at the beach the day before, and then we seen on the Instagram story
that he was
Hopsin was there, and I was like, no. We were all like proper gutted about it.
Yeah. I can imagine about it, mate. Honestly, it seems like LA is like just full of celebrities and character. It seems like a really characterful city, like full of, not to use lack of a better term, but some very weird and interesting people, but also some other like celebrities, I suppose, you know.
Yeah, I think celebrities, they just walk around like they're normal people, which they are really, aren't they? But
yeah. I think it's very easy to like think of celebrities as larger than life characters, you know what I mean? Like you look at you know, for example, I'd listen to the Joe Rogan podcast all the time, so like to me, if I met him, it would be like I would almost be starstruck by it, because it to me is like this larger than life character, I suppose. And it's really interesting how we do put people on pedestals, and we put them in these like, you're a celebrity, like, but in the grand scheme of things, they're just doing their job, whatever their job is, you know what I mean? If they're an actor or whatever.
The fact that you call someone a celebrity because lots of people know of them is pretty mental. When you could be walking down the street but you know, like at the end of the day, your shit still stinks. So
whenever I need a down to earth chat, I just come to Harry.
I don't like sugarcoating things.
No.
But like, if you had Seth Rogen and then Jacob Deere,
it's an interesting combination.
Yeah, you put them both in an office. You know, you're gonna have your strengths, he's gonna have his strengths.
True.
Both can have your weaknesses. But you're human beings at the end of the day. So like, this is what I'd never understood when I was working for people, and there was the boss, and they were like, someone said, "Oh, the boss is coming in," and I was like, "Okay." And then all these people are fretting about, "Oh no, this ain't right. Oh no, I've got to do this," and I'm like, "What are they going to do? They're going to tell you to do it, and that's it."
Yeah, true.
You know? And I suppose if they don't like you, they give you the boot, but. At the end of the day, they're still a person. So why are you fretting about a person?
Yeah, no, that's true. That's a really like humble way of looking at it, I suppose. Like,
look at everyone equal, and then. You know.
Do you think like training and boxing has sort of taught a lot of humility, like quite literally beaten sort of humble aspects of life into yourself in a way?
Yeah, I'd say it has. I think everyone goes through the stage of, I do what I want, and they don't think about consequences or people around them and things like that, and they never think about how things are going to be in the future. But then once I started doing the coaching and seeing literally every type of person, and still seeing every type of person in a different light, everyone's the same.
Yeah.
When it comes down to the core of that person, everyone is the same. So I look at everyone like the next person, and the person before that, and the person after that. You know, do you know what I mean? There's never anyone that I think that is different. So we want, like, once again, if I was keeping it in boxing, if Anthony Joshua came into our gym, and then Mr. Smith from down the road come down, and they're still going to be treated the same. Just because Anthony Joshua could probably knock my head off my shoulders, it doesn't make him any different to the bloke that's walked in next to him.
No.
So,
no, that's like, I think humility. I can't actually fucking pronounce it. Humanity.
Big long word that I can't either.
I'm just gonna ditch that. I think like being sort of humble, and especially having like humble attributes towards life, you know what I mean? Like, an understanding that we are all sort of humans, and we are. Sorry, my next door neighbour is apparently doing the 100-meter dash up her stairs.
Dash out.
Yeah, that was a quick time, eh? Like she's pretty fast.
Another round.
But I think, I was on the podcast with Xanthi the other day. It was like we were talking about ego in. We were talking about like weight loss journeys, but like I've always found that for me, anyways, like my ego has been this really weird like battle that I have with myself, that I know that I have been really egotistical in the past, and that ego has caused like rifts with family and friends, you know, because I've thought of myself of so much on a pedestal, whereas now through sort of being much more humble with what I do and what I feel like I've achieved, it's made me be much more balanced. And I think a lot of that came through physical exhaustion. Like, it's amazing what like true physical exhaustion teaches you, you know what I mean? When you're like pushing yourself so hard that like it just changes your your perception on your mind. Yeah,
it's you do certain things in your life which does have a different outlook after that. So being humble, I think you're at the point where, you know, you're not normal, but there's no way you're going to be able to disrespect anyone if you're humble. I think that's the best way to live.
Of course.
Anyone that thinks, I'm better than that person, needs to give their head a wobble, because I don't agree with that.
No.
So, you know, sort yourself out, mate.
But it must be quite strange, actually, being like, you know, because obviously I'm not a fighter, I'm not a boxer or anything like that. I enjoy watching it. You know, I enjoy watching, you know, a good fight from time to time. But it must be interesting being in that environment, because it is, in some ways, you know, the way I see it anyway, is it's this group of killers. There's this group of people that are, you know, are trying to hurt each other, to be, you know, simplify it as much as possible. That's what fighting is. So it must be quite hard to, like, there must be a lot of ego involved in that, like, as a fighter anyways.
Yeah, you do. You get a lot of ego in it. We could either have someone come in that we don't know that's got a big ego because they've done this, that, and the other, or someone that comes in's got a big ego because they think they look amazing. And the list goes on. If you've got an ego, then you need to take a step back and have a look. It does develop over time. Some people come in and be nice as pie, and then over time, when they start getting more confident in themselves, their ego comes up, which is understandable because they're getting confident. They want to be able to express something, but it's in a different way with an ego, isn't it? Yeah,
of course.
And it can give a negative effect towards everyone else. In a room of people, it's going to bring the mood down if someone's got that big ego and they want to be the big I am.
Of course.
So yeah, you do get that a lot in contact sports and things like that. With a group of men, it's full of testosterone. And with the big egos as well, it's not a good mix.
No.
Yeah.
I think especially in like young men as well, there's like, I don't think I'm speaking out of term here, but I think in young men, especially in the fighting game or physical contact sport, whether it's fighting, rugby, physical contact, the male aura, the male ego is big, like, because it's a dog-eat-dog sort of thing, I think, you know, of what I've seen anyways, and what I've learned from playing rugby and all of these other forms. It's like, it's a really weird balancing act, I think, like your ego, because having an ego isn't a bad thing, but having it controlled and understanding it is sort of key. That's what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think like that must be really hard to sort of learn when you're quite young. I think I've only learned it now, and I'm not old by any means, only 25, which feels old.
I was going to call you old, but I'm also 25.
Yeah, I was going to say, but I got more grey hair than you, so
he's old.
I'm old as hell. But it's like especially when you're young, because you guys work with quite, you know, young adults at the gym.
Yeah, well, it goes from under 8s all the way up to 40 plus, but it's not just males. We've got the females in there as well. Of
course.
So, and that's the best thing about it is, once again, everyone's equal. Like, don't think if you're a female, you're going to come and get smashed straight in the face. Like, not going to happen. Like, it's up to you. You know, if you want to go down that route, you can do. But the good thing about what we do is we never say no to anyone. So if you're coming in and have done everything, you still come in. If you haven't done a single thing, you can still come in. You all bounce off each other. There's things for everyone.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, we like a lot of the young adults. There is a big number, and we do a lot for like things in the background. We're not just boxing coaches. You know, we can be like an agony aunt. We could be a mate. Do you know what I mean? We could be anything towards them to help that person, and that's one of the main things. Like I've been in the gym since 4 o'clock this morning. And I'm there because I want to be able to help people. Like my first client of the day was David Burns. He works at Hinkley Point and he does some stupid hours, but he still gets up and comes to the gym at 4 a.m. And at the moment, with it being outside, that's dedication. Because like I'm stood there cold as anything,
icy.
Like I can't feel my feet, can't feel my hands, and he's working his ass off. Like, fair shout to him. And then everyone else that's coming in after that, they've all got a reason to be there, and my reason to be there is to help them. It sounds like like
it's almost like a therapy in a way. Like I think physical exhaustion is almost a therapeutical, pursuit. I've always found that, anyways. Running.
I feel like I work better under pressure, under not stress, because I've worked under stress before and that's went bad. But like having a routine where it is pretty full on, I feel like I work better because I haven't got time to stop. And like my missus hates it because I can get to bed and like my mind is still racing and I'm like at a million miles an hour trying to think about what I'm going to do next.
Yeah.
And I'll be on my phone sorting out my clients, and then I'm like, oh, shit, yeah.
And then pass out for 4 hours.
Honestly, that happens. I'll get in and then I'm just gone. So like there is that side of it as well. I've got to make time for everyone else. Totally.
And I think like it must be really interesting, like working with people to see like their growth over time, because you guys have been open for 2 years, 3 years. Well, the gym's been going for a lot, like Hardknox has been going quite a while, but the actual gym over at Oak Tree, that's what, 2 years now?
2018 I think we opened it.
3 years?
Yeah.
Christ, already?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Fuck,
it's like a little baby, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, mate. Honestly, I remember being there when there was no floor. That's crazy. It's 3 years, but it must be really like inspiring as a coach. I would have thought, anyways, to see the growth of people over that time period. Yeah.
We've still got some day ones from there, and seeing them grow and transform into what they are now to what they was is amazing. We're always going to get people come and go. The ones that come and go, they will maybe come back later on down the line, like 3 years down the line, or they'll go off to somewhere else and do something completely different. But the good thing is that they've had a journey, and you know that's a part of their life now. So the amount of people that we've seen, I get moaned at because my memory's really bad. And they wonder why they wonder why when I'm seeing like loads of people through the week.
Just like constant people and names.
And dates and times and things, and like my memory is shocking.
That's not being punched in the head by any chance, is it?
What were we talking about?
I can't remember either. I haven't had that many concussions, I swear. But no, it's like the way I would, like, for me anyways, I've done like group lectures and stuff like that, and it's like I'm only spending maybe an hour, 2 hours with a group of artists or photographers or whatever, but like seeing like there's something really rewarding that I found with doing like these group lectures or guest lectures, where at the start of it they don't know a process, but by the end of it they now have an understanding of how to do it, you know, like the learning of that process and the growth, like that's kind of similar, I suppose, to being a boxing coach. Obviously what you do is a much more physical pursuit, but that growth, that seeing that growth in individuals is like really inspiring. Like it makes me want to grow, and it makes me want to learn and continue like my journey rather than just stagnating, I suppose.
It's good that we can have a reflection on everyone,
totally,
whether you're in the gym or not. That's another reason why I like to do what I do, because even if you're not a boxing fan at all, but you can see that someone's working hard, you think, oh yeah, I'm going to keep pushing, I'm going to keep doing what I want to do.
Totally.
So like with what you do when you get up at stupid o'clock to go for a run, I think I'm going to get up at stupid o'clock.
Don't do it, Harry.
I mean, how much more stupid can I get for getting up at 3 a.m?
Yeah, like, bro, what was that all about this morning? Like on your Instagram story, it was like 3:30 you're pulling into the gym. I was like, Harry, bro, Harry, what are you doing? Like,
I did that on no coffee and no food as well. I mean,
I think the word savage is something that should be discussed with regards to you and your work ethic. But no, it's interesting you say that about like inspiration, because like, well, we've been friends for a while now, and I know that yourself, I've said this to you before in the past, but you were quite an inspiration to me when I first started trying to lose weight and just get on the grind and all of those things. And it's really, it's really like rewarding hearing that back the other way now, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, my journey's sort of there. I'm on the right path, you know what I mean? It's like, I think inspiring people in any context is such a rewarding, but also humbling experience. I found like inspiring, whether it is, you know, by no means do I think I'm an inspiration, but like maybe me getting up and work, like running at fucking stupid o'clock in the morning inspires somebody else to do it.
Of course it does.
You know,
Yeah.
for me it was you probably remember when I was doing like the daily Instagram story when I thought I was a vlogger.
I used to watch them every day.
You were like number one fan. I was like, Harry,
Yeah.
bro.
I'd be sat on my lunch break and I'd put it up on my little bit on my car, eat me sandwiches, jam sandwiches.
Classic.
Yeah. And then I'd sit there and watch you and I'd be like, that's my boy. There he is.
Bro, I appreciate that so much. But like, yeah, when I started that whole, how long did I do it for? Like 2 years straight. I think I only missed 3 days in 2 years.
You did well.
Which is not bad, like hit rate, only missing 3 days. But the whole concept of starting that was because for me, I was going through like a real bad bout with mental health and depression, and I just attempted suicide, and it was a bad time. And coming out of that and like making a decision that I was like, right, enough's enough. I'm fed up of being overweight. I'm fed up of feeling fat. I'm for all of these like bad things. And I made the decision in that moment after attempting suicide to make a change. And for some reason I was like, I'm going to record this and I'm going to share it. I'm going to talk about it and be open about it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just did it. You know, I didn't really think about the process as such. But that whole sort of saga of sort of from that beginning to where it felt like a natural end for me to stop doing it, the amount, like a lot of people had sort of like texted me or DM'd me and said that, you know, some of the things I was doing was very inspiring. And to me, that was so humbling and so kind. And, you know, it was something that I never expected, you know what I mean? I think like it must be for yourself, and stop me if I'm wrong, but having those experiences with individuals and like with the training that you guys do, and not just the physical side of things, but the tutoring, the checking they're okay, it's like being your friends, you know what I mean? And having that connection with other individuals through the stories and the physical training that you guys are doing must be such like a rewarding experience.
Yeah, it really is. It's something as little as just a small message saying thanks for everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
It's enough to just light you up a little bit. And then that you don't realise it, like what you were saying, like what you did with all your vlogs, and that's going onto social media. There's people out there that watched it that don't even know you, but you're inspiring them. And it's the same as like, because you put stuff all on your Instagram, I put stuff all over my Instagram and what I do, and like my work ethic is on there basically. That's what you see. And I'd like to think somewhere along the line it's inspiring someone to keep pushing on what they want to do, whether they want to start something up and, you know, really go for it, take the jump, you know, go for it. And people's mental health is something massive. Like it's really close to me, really close to Bobby. We always want to make sure that people are in the right place. If you're not feeling good, you want to come down to us so you can, you know, get a release, or even if it's just 5 minutes to sit there and just breathe in a little bit, you know. And it's something that needs to be spoken about with people. Like what you were saying, where you struggled really badly with your mental health. You needed, not at the time, you don't think about it, but you did need someone to be there and chat to you and things like that.
Totally.
But because you got that cloud over your head, you can't always see anything.
No. It's the fog. The way I describe it is it's a fog.
That's it.
It's this weird, it's this really weird mist that you can't clear. Like you can still walk around and see and touch and feel, like your general senses are normal, but like your mind is just in this weird fog. Like you're there, but you're not. Totally.
I had someone recently actually say that. They was like, I'm here, but I'm not here. And I was like, that's fine. You know, like the best thing is that you're stood there in front of me. You know, you're not somewhere doing something that you shouldn't be doing. Something that's going to affect you and everyone else around you.
Totally.
That's the extreme. I'm not saying everyone is like that, because they're not. But you know, it's you don't ever want anyone to be causing a harm to themselves or others. And if you're stood in front of someone and you're talking about it, that could be a step forward. That could be that light at the end of the tunnel that just needs to break through just that little bit.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think like yeah, it's I think the thing with sort of mental health, especially right now, like, it is so valuable having those outlets.
Yeah, it is.
Like, with regards to the gym, the boxing gym that you run with Bobby Jones, Hardknox, like, it's so valuable having that outlet for people, like, and it's not to make this political, but it's so frustrating that it's not viable to be used, and you guys can't give this service, like, to use lack of a better term, this service to people whom need it, to not be brutalist about it, but need it. Some of us need that outlet once, twice, 3 times a week, however many times, I know many people that exercise and use it as relief, myself included in that, and it's so frustrating that you guys can't provide that right now.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I get my good days and my bad days, and the same with Bobby. Like, everyone gets good days and bad days, and we're so used to seeing each other every day.
Yeah,
like, not seeing each other every day is enough to put us on breaking point.
Yeah,
and like we both know it as well.
Yeah.
It's having a gym, our home, like our baby that we can't use, and we've got to be outside, social distance, where you can do stuff, but it's not what we do. It's not the same. It's very limited to how much we can help someone. The good thing is they can still come see us, and all that, but it is hard at the moment.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, we struggle on the best of times.
I know that feeling.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where you've got to try and push by, because you know that it's going to be better at the end of it. Just don't let things get over your head.
Yeah, and I think the thing with it is, like, with you guys is, I was saying before we came on this podcast, I'm so happy that you guys have got through this pandemic, even though we're still in it.
Yeah. Still fighting
through it, literally and figuratively. Because, like, for Burnham anyways, I think you guys, not just you as individuals, but as what you guys do at the gym, is so fucking valuable.
Yeah.
Like, so valuable. And it's like, we can't lose these sort of services. We can't lose these entities, because, I don't know if you'd agree, but, living in a small town can be hard at the best of times. It can be hard on the mind sometimes. It's like, because you can feel a bit like trapped,
quite cramped, isn't it?
Very much so.
Yeah.
And so having outlets is so important. And luckily enough, you guys can still do little things like the outdoor PTs I know that yourself has picked up and started doing again, which is awesome, but also Baltically cold by the looks of the things. It's good that you guys can do that, and it's like, I really hope that someday very soon you can go back and start doing, I remember, like, the group sessions, because we've worked together on and off for years now, and with Hardknox I've made videos and content for you guys,
which is sick, by the way.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. I want to do some more when we can. I still want to do that documentary that I spoke to you and Bobby about.
Yeah,
I definitely need to make something like that. We'll have a chat after this or whatever.
A few notes there and there.
Yeah, little conversation. But like, I remember going to, like, the group sessions and, like, photographing those, and it was like everybody's, because they're mixed. Some of them are mixed groups, different ages, all those things, and it's like, fuck, it looks like everyone's having such a good time, everyone's laughing, like, putting in the work. It's so vital, like, to have, I think you would agree, but, like, have a really strong fitness sort of regime, to use lack of a better term, in your life. I think it's definitely what saved my life, and I think for many others as well, having a fitness regime or like fitness outlets is like a way of controlling this fucking thing.
It's surprising on how much of a difference it makes.
Yeah.
Doing something like that. But then again, it's not for everyone. Not everyone like sees it as their way of an escape, or, a relief from things. And, it could be something like playing the piano, or just going to work in general. For me, it is just training.
Yeah.
That's my way of getting out, escaping this crazy world that we're in at the moment, or even beforehand. My way of escaping any stress relief I need, I go to the gym. I'm there.
Clang and bang on the weights.
Yeah. I mean, I can't punch a bag anymore, so.
No. Well, we won't go down that. All I know is a hand dryer died a painful death.
Yeah, we'll call it a hand dryer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, where was I?
Breaking people. I'm joking. No, I think physical exertion, as we were sort of saying at the beginning of this, is like so important. I'm sure it's the same for you, but for me, I've learned so much from being at that point in an exercise, whether it's running, lifting weights, HIIT workout, whatever.
Yeah.
That point where you want to quit, where your mind is telling you to stop, and then pushing through it and keep going and seeing how far you can actually go. Like, what is your real peak?
It.
You know, I mean, I've learned for me, and I know other people that I spoke to that are into their exercise, there's so much self-growth in that area of exercise, you know?
I get a lot of people that say to me, well, how do you enjoy doing exercise, or how do you enjoy doing this, that and the other in the gym? I don't enjoy it.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
I hate running.
Yeah. It is really hard.
Yeah.
But when you see the progress, that's when you start to enjoy it, because you think, oh, it's working.
Totally.
You know, that you get that feeling, that little excitement inside you, and you're like, if I keep doing this, I'm going to keep getting better. Or for someone that lifts weights, if I keep doing this, I'm going to get bigger, or I'm going to get stronger, you know? If I keep eating the right food, I'm on this diet, I'm going to get ripped. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's got a different way about it.
Totally.
If you're seeing the progress, then keep doing it. But you've got to push yourself that little bit more. You know? Pull your thumb out, kick yourself up the arse, get on with it. You know?
Consistency is key.
Yeah, it is,
I think that's the thing that I was going to make this whole Instagram story the other day. I filmed loads of clips, and I was going to edit it, and it was all going to be about consistency. And the idea that, you know, pushing yourself consistently is the key to finding who you really are.
Yeah, it can open up a lot of doors.
So many doors, physically and mentally. And I had this thought whilst on a run, of course.
Fair play.
Appreciate that. But I think I have loads of weird thoughts when I'm running, for some reason. But
funny enough, I have weird thoughts when I'm sat on the toilet.
That is something that I've heard of as well. Xanthi was saying about shower thoughts. She has weird thoughts while she's in the shower.
Oh, my missus hates it when I shower because I take ages. I just stand like that.
Well, you are 6'2"?
Yeah, I'm like that really.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're not really stood up. You're sort of bent sideways,
Yeah. Shower thoughts is a thing. I stand there and think.
Yeah.
Not about anything really. I'm quite blank-minded when I'm in the shower because I just like that.
I have this vision of you just gormlessly staring at a rubber duck, just
with my meat and two veg out.
That's a new sticker. But yeah, it's weird because I've said this on a previous podcast that I do this run on the beach at the moment when it's dark, first thing in the morning, nobody around, it's freezing cold.
Yeah.
And I'll run for 15 minutes in the pitch black on the beach. And it's almost this psychedelic experience because by that point I'm about halfway in my run, so I'm working hard, breathing heavy, and then I'm running in the pitch black with just a spotlight, and there's so many weird things that I see and or think whilst I'm running in this, you know, kilometer and a half, whatever it is, that it opens up my mind to new ways of thinking, and that's where this consistency idea video came from, was running through the pitch black through silt or whatever the bloody hell I was running on. I was covered when I got home. But yeah, it's interesting how the mind, because I think the mind correlates so closely to physical exercise. Obviously they're one and the same, you know, this thing tells what this thing to do, you know what I mean? So there's obviously a correlation back, whereas if you physically exert yourself on a consistent basis, you're going to have mental growth as well. You're going to find new parts of your mind that you've never explored before. And for me anyways, I'm a big believer and big advocate for mental growth and constantly learning. And a lot of that has come from physical exertion, surprisingly.
Yeah. It's strange on how it opens up a door for you to think about something while you're like, how can I explain it? Your body is just screaming at you.
Yeah.
But your mind is like, oh yeah.
It's just off with the pixies. Like, yeah, totally.
And
totally.
One thing that I noticed as well, years and years ago when I used to run a lot, I found that I would run, and then all of a sudden it's like a blackout, and then I realise I'm running again.
Interesting.
Have you ever had that?
I've had something similar, yeah.
It's weird. Like, you know you're running, but you're breathing and looking forward and you're thinking about something, but you forget you're running. Like, your body's still moving.
Yeah. That for me, that is what runner's high is.
Oh,
so you know what people consider, like I feel like people have got runner's high misconstrued, like what it actually is. Like, people think I think the general consensus is that it's this: you get to a point and then run, like during a run, and then you're like, oh, this is easy, and you just sort of plod along. I'm sure that's an aspect of it, but for me, and by the sounds of things yourself, and I've had conversations with other people that run, runner's high is where, for me, is where you get to the point where you no longer know that you're running.
Okay.
Your body's in such a, like, the way I describe it is like an engine. Like, you can rev the tits off of an engine, but it'll still go back to idle and just will sit at idle consistently if you have a working car. Not all of us do. Mine's kind of broke. Anyways. But that, to me, is what runner's high is when you are just cruising. Like, your body is just in motion. You're not thinking about the run anymore. I'm not thinking about my breathing. My mind is off, and it's thinking and going down these different rabbit holes and avenues. Like, that's what I think runner's high is.
So I've had runner's high.
Yeah, it sounds like you have. Knowing you probably were doing a half marathon.
Those days are long gone.
Bro, you used to run ridiculous like amounts and like distances.
My knees can't take it anymore.
Well, you're getting old, bro.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I blame running in Astros.
Yeah, well, no disrespect, but fuck's sakes.
Hey, I was young, dumb, and
don't say that one. Meat and two veg. No, well, that's the thing, man. Is like, talking about like training, like equipment and stuff. It's like, it's weird because I don't know if you would agree, but like there used to be this idea of like, oh, you don't need runner's shoes, you don't need leggings, you don't need a runner's just go do it. Just
That's
go
what
run.
I thought.
Yeah. And I used to think the same thing before I actually decided to take fitness and health seriously. I used to be like, oh, I'm just gonna go for a run, and I'd be in fucking jeans. You know what I mean? Like, but I think, especially with what you do with the boxing, like equipment is actually kind of vital. Yeah. Like having the right equipment, like, you know, there's bare knuckle boxing. I'm not going to go down that road. But then there's obviously, you know, wearing gloves, different ounce gloves for different, I don't know a huge amount about it, but like I'm guessing different ounce gloves are for different uses, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like if you're hitting a heavy bag, you might put bigger, thicker gloves on so you don't fucking break your hand.
Training wise, the heavier the gloves, in a way, it's more beneficial because you've got more weight on your hands. So you're going to have more resistance to throw the punch in. Going to build your shoulders, going to get the conditioning, that side of things. Also, if you're a heavy hitter and you've got heavier gloves on, the more padding it is, so you're going to protect your hands. So it is beneficial to have heavier gloves. But if you're not conditioned to wearing like 20 ounce gloves, you're going to struggle. Like you're going to feel it. You put them on, you think, oh, it's not too bad. Give it 2 minutes. And then you know about it. So but it's over time. I've got 20 ounce gloves that I can't even use, not because they're heavy, but you know, you know, the whole that one,
broken hand things. I know.
So going down that route, coming off from where we are. I've tried everything. Like, when it comes down to gloves, when it comes down to protection underneath the gloves, the only thing I haven't done is private, like to get it sorted. But
explain a little bit to explain a little bit. Like, you don't explain what happened if you don't want to, but like with your hand, it's pretty bad. Like what's going on with your hand?
I mean, it's when I explain it to people, it doesn't sound that bad. but it's the positioning of where they are, and I imagine I'm no hand expert. All I know is I got 2.
Yeah.
So I imagine what's happening is it's pressing against something whenever there's pressure on the front in when I'm making a fist. So because the way it's broken, it's in 2 places. One of them, which is commonly known as a boxer's fracture, and then whatever this doodah is called here, that's broken too.
Yeah.
So whenever I make the fist, my pinky knuckle is not really there. It is, but it's like pushed back. The one next to it is pushed back as well, but it's also closer to my middle
finger. Yeah.
When I open up my hand, the knuckle on this finger is now down here.
Yeah.
So
I remember you showing me an X-ray, I think, years ago of it.
The X-ray, it shows it clearly like this. It was a clean break there, and then it was like I don't know. It was a break, but it hadn't been broken away. So it like snapped, and then it was still next to each other.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what I did was stupid, basically, and now it's put me in the. Well, to be fair, it's helped me because I'm now coaching.
I was going to say, you wouldn't have found coaching, I don't think, really.
Maybe not. You never know.
Because you were training to be a fighter, like a boxer.
Oh yeah, I was flat out all the way through school. I didn't have a social life, so I was flat out training. And then like as a teenager, you lose love for things. You go on and off do things, and then I turned 18 and found a pub, and that was my downfall.
Yeah.
So like anyone that's watched the mental health video with me and Bobby, what Ben Shields has done, that explains like where things were. So I won't go down that route.
No, of course.
But that is one of the reasons why I broke my hand. Because I weren't in that right frame of mind, and things happened, and it's but the way I am now, I'm coaching. So everything that's happened in the past has opened up the doors to where I am now. I'm now coaching, doing a dream job that I never. Well, it was a dream. I looked back on my time hop not long ago, and there was a tweet that come up, and it said, "I'd love to be able to be a boxing coach."
And here you are. And here you are being a boxing coach.
That's it.
I think not to become spiritual or anything, but I think everything does happen for a reason.
I do live by that a little bit. Not like. If I trip over and hit my head on the door frame, I'm like, oh, it happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Some things that when you think, if it's something that's had a massive impact on you, like that someone's walked out of your life, that has happened for a reason.
Yeah.
Like they're not that right person. They've done something that's not going to connect with you. They're out of the picture. That's part of your life, but they're out of the picture. Yeah. But then that's opening up your door to something else, something that's going to make you turn into someone else.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So things do happen for a reason, and I'd like to say that happened for the better
reason. Yeah. I think it's interesting because for something similar, I suppose for me is I had a really bad like BMX crash over 10 years ago now, where I like fractured my face, broke my teeth, all in.
Yeah,
I think I've explained a little bit to yourself, and it was bad, like quite a bad crash, and I still feel the problems, the effects of that now, like nearly 13 years on. I still have false teeth. My teeth ain't ever gonna grow back. I've got false teeth. Got scars. My jaw cracks and pops. And anyways. But I think at that point in my life, I was like 14 when it happened, 13, 14 years old. At that point in my life, I didn't know what I actually wanted. I thought I was going to be a professional BMX rider, which when we're young, we all want to be professional something, I think.
Of course, it's something you love to do. So you think, I'm going to do this.
Totally. Like for yourself, it was probably boxing.
Yeah.
You wanted to be a professional boxer. For me, it was BMX. And then I had this crash, which completely like changed me massively, especially when you're a kid, basically, and I, at that point after that crash, I discovered photography again and making images, because I played around with a camera when I was like 5-6 years old. Obviously when you're that young, you don't really know much. I can't actually remember much from that time period of my life. I've had a few too many concussions.
You just pushed a lot of buttons on it.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Come across them one day,
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is
Honestly, yeah. I found a picture the other day. It was like I was like 8 or 9 years old, something like that, and I had a camera.
Yeah.
And I took it to my mum. I was like, "What is this?" She was like, "It's you." I was like, "Well, I think it's me." Okay. She was like, "It's you holding a camera." I was like, "I had a camera when I was young." She was like, "Yeah." I was like, I don't remember any of that.
I don't remember what I did last week.
Yeah, it's like, you sure that wasn't like last month?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I know I've aged a bit, but like, I think having that crash, it definitely now in reflection happened for a reason, because I discovered art, I discovered photography.
Yeah.
And that put me on this path of where I am now as a creative.
Exactly.
You know, I feel like that crash, although it fucking sucked, definitely happened for a reason, like looking at it now. And for years, I always thought to myself, like, oh, why me? Why did I do that stupid fucking trick? But now I'm actually kind of glad it did. Like, in a weird way, I'm actually kind of glad it did.
You can't explain it, can you?
No.
When something that traumatic happens to you, whether it don't even have to be traumatic, it could be something tiny, but then you think it's there with you for the rest of your life, and you think, if that hadn't happened, where would I be? Like, would I be doing this now? Would I be doing my dream job? You know, mental.
Yeah, weird. It's weird. It's weird, isn't it? When you like break it down and start looking into these things, it's like, so many interesting like things that might have happened that changed your perception.
Yeah,
it's really interesting stuff.
You never know. I could be a celebrity by now.
You could be an influencer. Get on TikTok, Harry.
Okay. I don't even know what to do when it comes to TikTok.
I don't think anyone does, really.
Like, I downloaded it and I scroll. That's it.
Honestly, time waster of the year. That
Yeah,
app.
it is.
Like I literally, productivity when I had downloaded that app just plummeted to the earth. I just did no work for hours. Like,
that is the worst app ever.
I was like, delete. Let's get rid of that.
Yeah. I mean, if I was on there and I was an influencer, that sounds weird. If I was
Maybe
on
one
there
day.
and I was making these videos and I was getting a good following from it, I imagine if it was like so good and I could just do what I wanted now.
Just balling out of control. Yeah.
Could you? What would I do? Like, if I
get a yacht, fuck it. Like,
I'll get a yacht. You never
Why
know.
not?
Wait, I'm telling you, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to win the lottery. I'm going to be a millionaire. But first of all, I've got to start playing the lottery.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
That would be a start.
But I'm going to win. I'm going to win at life.
Honestly, can I get a share of that? Or
Yeah, I'll have a couple quid. Yeah.
I have 75%. Appreciate it, Harry. So, like you were saying with your hand, like maybe going down the private road. Is there like, can they do surgery or anything like that?
On the night it happened, they said I will need a wire, which is quite common in a break on the hand. But then they never did it. And I still to this day, I don't know why they didn't do it, because I asked them about it when the cast was coming off.
Yeah.
And they said, no, it's healed. You're good. So.
Well, it's obviously not.
No, it really isn't.
No.
Yeah.
Good old. I'm not going to bash the NHS, but good old NHS.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. They're trying to smash it at the moment.
Of
with
course.
what's going on.
Of course.
But when it comes to my hand, fuck you. Yeah. At the end of the day, I think I could be stuck with it, because for me, if I was to go down the route and get private work done on it and it got reconstructed or whatever they do, I'm then out of work and I can't afford to be out of work. This is my brain going 100 miles an hour again.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, if I do this, that's got to happen, this got to happen. I can't afford to have this to happen. And it goes on like that.
Well, the thing with it is, would you really be out of work? Okay, you wouldn't be able to do mitts.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to, run mitts and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But in the grand scheme of things, of the training sessions that I've been in or watched you do, not a whole lot of them actually involve, when you're actually running the sessions, you using your hands in some ways.
Yeah, I mean, I could do. There's a lot of things I can do with one arm.
Yeah.
But I'd have to adapt, I suppose.
Yeah, it would. I would have thought it'd be a long recovery time.
I imagine
like
so.
6 to 10 months, probably at least.
Yeah, I imagine you'd have to go through some form of rehab to build up the strength and the grip strength and things again.
Yeah, well, you'd be moving, you'd be moving the knuckle positions where your hands got used to where those knuckles are now. So I suppose there would be. And in the grand scheme of things, if you never wanted to necessarily get back in the ring and actually be a boxer, do you need it doing? Like, unless it's causing constant hassle.
Yeah. Well,
I think the only problem might be, obviously, I'm not trying to be fucking granddad Jacob Deere over here or anything, but the only thing I was thinking then, because I know I've had conversations with my doctor and my surgeon in the past with like my ankles that I've broken a couple of times, etc.
Yeah.
They've said that the likelihood is, because arthritis runs in my family quite badly, they've said that you're probably going to get arthritis on these. So that's the only concern, if it was me, with the hand that you have, would be arthritis, I suppose, because it's all in a weird place, I suppose.
I have thought about that. That I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get it in that hand either way. And with what we do, I'm taking impact on the palms of my hands all the time. So it's not only there, it's in the wrist, in the elbow, in the shoulder. So every bit of impact that you're getting is probably, it could appear in other places. My knees are pretty shot, and I don't really know why. I think I put it down to the running I did.
It could be,
but
they shouldn't be too bad.
I'm just really sensitive now. I don't know why, but it's something that I probably should get looked at. But then I don't like to. No,
I get what you mean.
Like, if I've got an injury, I'm like, I'll just ride it out.
Yeah, I used to be exactly the same. If I remember once I broke my ankle in Taunton, fractured my ankle, and I didn't go to the hospital because I knew I'd fractured it. So I just went home and put a strap on it and some ice and just left it for 6 weeks. Yeah. I had a very similar ethos, I suppose, in some ways, but now anyways, not necessarily right now because the pandemic, but when there wasn't a pandemic, if there was something that wasn't right in my joints and I could tell was more than just a general ache and pain, I would go get it checked. Because for me, I know that joint problems, hip problems, all of those things run in my family. And I live a fairly active lifestyle now, so it's like the last thing I want to do is get to 45, 50 and I need a hip replacement or something like that, So I try and keep everything kind of managed and be on a good diet, exercise, etc., etc. So maybe if your knees are pretty bad, which by the sounds of things they have their good days and their bad days, it might be a good idea to just get them looked. It might just be as simple as like a ligament thing. Maybe your ligaments are a bit sort of like frayed or something, and they just tell you to rest them. And I think knowledge, for me anyways, knowledge is power. If you know what's going on, then you can adapt to it. You know what I mean? Whereas if you don't know what's going on, you don't know what you're doing, so you don't know how to punch a microphone, don't know how to necessarily adapt to it and make it better of that situation.
I feel like everyone knows their own body. Totally. Then it comes to a point where you're like, what is actually wrong?
When you get to the point where you're like, okay, this really isn't normal. That's the point where it's like, I should probably find somebody who can tell me what's going on.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
But for now, I'm going to ride it out.
For fuck's sakes. Have some deep, meaningful conversation about injuries, and then Harry's like, fuck it, I'm a man, I can do this.
This is one thing that I've noticed about myself, is I'm really good at giving people advice.
Terrible at taking it. No disrespect, I love you, you're my brother, but you're the worst motherfucker to give advice to. She's like, yeah. 6 months later, have you done that? No. It's like, why?
I know. I make life hard for myself.
That is true.
Yeah. But I just like, if there's a speed bump in life, or if I've got an injury, I'm like, well, it might go eventually. Let's just see what happens,
bro.
Deal with the situation when it gets there.
It's like, oh, my leg's pointing backwards now.
Here's something to think about. This is going to make your mind spin now. What would chairs look like?
Oh my god, somebody said this to me yesterday. Oh my god, yeah, somebody said this to me yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, no Xanthi said it to me yesterday. She was like, I have weird thoughts. What if, your legs bent backwards? What would chairs look like? I was like, what the fuck, Xanthi? That is weird. Wait, did you see it on the internet or something?
No.
Yo, what the fuck? That's so confusing.
I've just made my head spin now.
Yeah, my head's spinning, not just because of the question, but because it's been asked to me twice within 24 hours.
What a coincidence.
Is it a coincidence?
I blame 5G.
Microbots. So where can everybody find your stuff then, Harry? I know you're on social media, on Instagram.
Yeah, I use my Instagram more than anything.
Cool.
My Facebook profile is pretty much everything.
Cool.
But my Instagram is a lot of what I do at the gym.
Yeah, and that's Harry Payne 95. Cool.
Yeah, pretty easy to find. The pictures on there is either me and my dogs,
classics,
me and my missus,
classics,
or boxing. Pretty much it.
Literally Harry's life.
Yeah. That is it. That's all I need. I need
100%.
bulldogs, my missus, and boxing.
It's a win. That is a win, bro.
my Instagram stories is 9 times out of 10
getting up at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, something stupid like that.
Please stop that, because you're going to inspire me to start getting up at 3:30, and then it's just going to become a battle of who gets up there. We just won't sleep. Like, it will get to a point where we're both like,
yeah,
well, you didn't sleep last night. Well, I'm not going to sleep.
Speaking of no sleep,
oh fuck,
my Fitbit tracks my sleep.
Yeah. Oh, bro.
I checked it this morning.
What did it say?
2 hours and 15 minutes.
You fucking psychopath, Harry. I think I got 6 hours last night.
Man, you're so lucky.
Shut the fuck up. You're going to make me jealous of your 2 hours of sleep. Stop.
Mate, honestly, if I get more than 4 hours sleep, I had a good night.
Right.
6 hours sleep is like loads.
Bro, listen to me. I'm not trying to be daddy dear again, but listen to me.
You must sleep more.
No, listen. I got this book that I'm reading at the moment. It's called Why We Sleep.
Yeah.
Okay? It's a really fantastic book. I'm almost finished with it. When I'm finished with it, you're sitting down and you're reading it. I don't want to hear any ifs, ands, or buts. I will talk to your missus. I'll talk to Shauna. Be like, he has to read this every night, at least 10 pages. Because I was the same. You remember what I was like, especially when I was living in Cheltenham.
Yeah.
We would hang out. I was like, 2 hours, no biggie.
Yeah,
Just go and crush it. This book will change your fucking mind. Trust me. Yes, seriously. It's completely changed how I look at my sleep.
What's it called?
Just literally called Why We Sleep.
Right.
I can't remember the author's
my memory
name.
is then, because you already told.
Yeah, I've already told you. Here we go.
Is there like sleep coming in?
But honestly, like, you need to read it, because I get it, I understand it, and I know you're a busy man, but like, I didn't realize how important, like, to me, sleep was like, I'll do it when I'm dead. I didn't realize how fucking important sleep was, especially for your physical health. Like, your physical health, it's incredibly important, but your mental health as well, like keeping this thing stable. Like, even 6 hours isn't considered enough. They say, this book says that it goes into all forms of detail. It's not that big. It's only 300 pages, 350 pages. So it's not that big. But it's like, you want to be sleeping at least 7 to 7.5 hours. You can get away with 6 and 6.5 hours, but don't do it for a super extended period of time. So like, for me, I do Monday to Friday, 6.5 hours sleep. And then Saturday, Sunday, I try and get at least 7.5. That's how I do it now anyways.
Okay.
But yeah, need to definitely read this book, and I will fucking force you to read it, because it will change your mind, trust me. But I get it. I understand it. Because I was exactly the same with, I'm too busy. Like, you know what I mean? I get it. I totally do. But yeah, there's a deep thought to end this podcast on. Yeah. Harry, sleep the fuck more. God damn it. Like,
sorry, man.
Stop working. I thought I'd never say that. Stop working as much. Sleep more.
This is that advice that I got to take, innit?
Yeah.
And
not in 6 months. Take it now.
I'll do it when I retire.
I'm going to keep... No.
I'll sleep more when I retire.
Fuck's sake. You see how this is a brick wall, everyone listening or watching?
Sorry, guys.
Oh, cool, man. Well, I'll make sure all the links to your stuff is down in the description below. Thanks, and make sure you go check out Hardknox Boxing. Is it Hardknox Boxing Gym on Facebook, or is it Hardknox Boxing?
The School of Hardknox UK.
The School of Hardknox. So make sure you go check out the School of Hardknox. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Thanks, mate.
Shooting the shit,
Thanks
having a
for having
chat.
me.
It's good to do it.
Cheers,
And as I
man.
say at the end of every podcast, you guys are probably getting bored of this, but it's a crazy world out there, guys. Make sure you stay safe, stay positive, and take care.